Hey guys, I just finished the first week of my new programming, or at least the first week of my trial with my new programming. Basically, I finished my previous blog, as I mentioned, 1 week early because I was feeling that things were getting pretty difficult. I pushed it. I was really happy that I pushed it that far, but obviously RP was a little bit higher than what I wanted. I did make a final push on week six. I did make a final push on week 6. Sorry, on purpose to reach RP 10 on my assistant's work. To kind of see how far I could take it and set some new maxes, which obviously I always use in the future. So basically, like I previously mentioned, I just registered for 2017, officially a senior lifter now because I'm turning 24 in April, um, which puts me obviously in a pretty difficult position. I just need to get much stronger faster now. As a 66, I need to be able to lift, I think, yeah, it's 117.5 kilos extra to qualify for a national, so obviously that's my big goal would be to add this to my total by December 2017 and release the last competition 2017 and be able to qualify for national. So that's going to be the big goal this year, and I'm pretty excited as if things have been going pretty well. So yeah, basically, I'm now a London lifter, not a southeastern, as I said, because well, I've always lived in Bromley, Beckenham, so outer London boroughs. It's always been considered London, but I guess in the GBPF they didn't take that into consideration last year, but they have made changes and I was able to register for the appropriate division. So I'll be able to just take the train up to London to compete. I just need to figure out when my competition is, and based on me not knowing that when my next competition is, I thought I'd mess around with my programming and kind of change it because I like to keep things exciting. I definitely felt like my RP was a little high, so fatigue was a little high, so I kind of needed to reset things a little. So this week's programming went really well. I kind of created my own programming as I always do, based on my previous experiences, a lot of principles, a lot of volume, just a lot of things that I've learned throughout time. So the program, the way it's structured right now is basically a combination of the Bulgarian method, the Johnny Candice linear programming. Still continuing with my RP tracking, which is obviously not programming, but I'd like to master my RP one day, and also incorporating some higher volume for all movements. So basically, this training cycle, I've ensured that I hit as many reps with my lower body and my upper body. I know obviously that the loads won't be the same, so the total training volume at the end of the week will be very different in terms of lower and upper, but I just wanted to make sure that I hit as many reps on both. So my free lower days add up to my free upper days in terms of rep and solely reps, that is. So basically, I'm still doing 2 compound movements and 2 assistance movements every day, whether it be upper or lower session. What I've added to equal that volume both on upper and lower days is I do 3 sets of 18 with a bodybuilding style kind of pull to counterbalance my bench and make sure that I keep my back healthy, efficient, and I'm capable of really working on that shoulder retraction to have a good, solid starting position for my bench. So on the Tuesday I do a bodybuilding horizontal pull for 3 sets of 18, and on the Thursday I do a bodybuilding vertical pull for 3 sets of 18, which I don't film, but obviously keep the weight light, really work on the contraction, so I actually hit a pause at the top of the movement on every single reps of each set, so that's a lot of pauses. but it's been feeling good. It feels like I've been able to engage my body fully. So yeah, basically the Bulgarian method approach to this training is kind of just the singles. So I'm doing singles. I started 87.8% for the four singles based on the RPE chart provided by the RTS website. However, I've been having kind of glute pain recently, so my deadlift I've been feeling off, so I decided to go back to my old stance, and I was actually able to pull at 200 kilos at an RPE 9, which is like equal to my best, but I'm currently like around 65, 66. So that was actually my first triple bodyweight deadlift ever, and I was only in RPE 9. So obviously that was the next day after all my singles. At 175 kilos, were basically 87.8% felt crap. So I came in the next day, I was frustrated. I just went for miles, formed to see how that went, and it went really well. But obviously, I'm gonna stick to the program and just go to 177.5 for next week for all my singles. So yeah, the single work is starting at 87.8% for four singles. I do that once a week for low bar squats and sumo deadlift. I do it twice for bench, so one time with a competition pause and a second time with a longer pause. The Candito linear programming approach to this training, or part of this training, is the 3x6, the 3x6 beltless, sleeveless squat, and then the beltless deadlift for 3/6s. So the original program actually has a 3x6 squats and 2x6 deadlifts. I decided to up that to 3x6 for both. For the bench, it's actually the 3x6 as well. But for the longer pause day, I've replaced the Spoto by longer pause, and I've kept it for 3 sets of 6 pause instead of 6 sets of 4. And actually, I did the same for the squat and deadlift. So squat and deadlifts are 3 sets of 6 pause both instead of 6 sets of 4. And then following kind of the Candito structure, my assistants of choice are compound movement instead of isolation, but they're still considered assistants. So I didn't change them too much. I kept the high bar in the conventional, the front squats and the stiff leg, and I changed the complexes for a deficit squat, I guess you could call that, and a deficit conventional, and that's been feeling pretty good. And I also used the RTS chart for that. I used the lowest possible RPE for sets of 12, so that's 58.6%. So that's what I started with for this week on every single assisted movement, whether it be up or lower, and that worked out fine. The RPE was pretty much on point in terms of in comparison to what the chart said it would feel like. So that's been good. So in terms of progression, I'm not too sure how long I'm going to be able to do this. Obviously, I'm really working on the RPE to try to stay away from Veda. I'm going to increase everything by 2.5 next week. That's my final decision. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, if RPE raises too much throughout the week, we'll definitely keep things the same, or think about using the smaller increments that my gym offers, because now I can actually increase by either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 kilos, which is a lot of smaller jumps instead of 2.5 and 5. So I got a lot of options, but this week went really well. It was insane. I was like so happy, especially with the deadlift. So I'm excited to see how far I can take this. I don't have a specific competition date, so obviously my goal would be to well, ideally just for satisfactory purposes, I guess, I'd like to equal my best belted squat and deadlift volume, which are 135 for 3 sets of 6 and 167.5 for 3 sets of 6. So I'd like to be able to do that beltless and sleeveless. So that would be it, so hopefully I can do that. That should happen in the next 3 weeks for the squats if everything goes well. And then for the deadlift, I'll take longer because I started lighter, but I'd rather take it one step at a time and see how far I can progress. Again, following the Candido rule, he doesn't follow RP, at least his program doesn't talk about RP, but it does mention increments being anywhere between 0 to 10 pounds, or that would be 0 to 5 kilos for me. Meaning, weeks that you're not feeling it, no point increasing. Just keep it where it's at and wait till next week. So I'm debating whether when it feels that my RP is too high to my liking, if I should keep it the same or start using smaller increments. But I have a feeling, knowing myself, that I'll stick to the 2.5 increments and just slow down when it doesn't, and maybe give it 2 weeks before I increase. But obviously, this is a new week. I used the kind of like the resetting of everything as a deload, because the assistance is much easier than where I left it last week. Compounds weren't too challenging, but it's just like, just been watching Cascioli, one of the people I follow. I'm always watching videos, reading articles, trying to learn all the time, trying to find new things. And the Respect the Weight from Cascioli in his recent video has really enlightened me. And as I've really worked on it throughout the week, weights have felt better. So I just have a feeling that expecting the weights to feel lighter, because I was resetting the assistant, resetting the new program, wasn't necessarily a good thing, because the weight is never supposed to feel like, well, it is, but you should always respect the weight and always be ready to lift with full force and obviously good form, but respect the weight. Really like that saying, and I've been working hard on sticking with it, just like really following my cues, which allow me to lift most efficiently, which for me right now is squat tight, bench feel like a robot, or just robot based on the TSA principle, well, based on the Hani TSA cue that I kind of stole from him, thanks to him. I love it. And then deadlift, just actually monotonous for me is my deadlift cue that's been working really well. So that's pretty much for this week, guys. I'll ramble more next week, as I always say I will. So I'll let you enjoy the last few reps of this deficit conventional, and I'll see you next week. See you guys later.